All right, everybody, welcome to the That is Censored, and that is a sinkhole, the part of the video, or the video itself, where we recommend that our viewers understand the distinction between their and a hole in the ground. Oh, I hear some things going on. There's some technical difficulties. I'll be right back.
Two pumpkins, 24 souls. What will be the outcome? Meanwhile, at the Smash House.
Well, now that we've got all the pumpkins carved, I guess we can start getting the souls together. We'll just put the souls in the pumpkins. No big deal.
Meanwhile, in the Smash Tower. Yes, the souls are now in the jack-o'-lanterns. We have transferred the souls to the jack-o'-lanterns. End of story. Looks like everything's kosher now.
All right, anyway, I'm back, folks.
Proceed as planned.
All right, I'm back, folks, and everything's fine. But
What a jerk.
somebody called me a jerk? I think we're having some technical difficulties with the souls, folks. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, welcome to the That is Censored, and that is Sinkhole Halloween edition. Oh yeah, are you scared? Are you scared of Google? Don't be, because they're an insect on which to be stomped. Not someone who can control your fate. Have you de-Googleified your life? Have you helped to support the channel via the links below our video? Do you follow us on other social media? To eliminate the possibility that deleting our channel will ever matter. Oh yes. Are you scared, Google? Well, you should be. Happy Halloween to our viewers. And to everybody involved in the production of these videos. You're listening to Toccata and Fugue in D minor by J.S. Bach. One of the most early badasses in all of music. Taking musical badassery to a new level, all the way back in the Baroque period. Did you see our scary whiteboard? Have you seen this spooky galaxy? Have you seen the galaxy that looks like a skull? Let me draw it in for you if you're too unimaginative to be able to see the skull. Please feel free to re-graffiti our whiteboard in light of Halloween. Let's talk about some creepy stuff in the Milky Way galaxy. Let's talk about Cygnus X-3. Are you familiar? Now, this is one of the most luminous objects, at least one of the most intrinsically luminous objects in the Milky Way, at least from our perspective. Cygnus X-3, otherwise known as Deneb, it's the star in the tail of the swan in the constellation Cygnus. It's got a bunch of different names, and it does a lot of different things, and one of them is send cosmic rays through your head. Now, it's very difficult to tell the distance to an object like this. And there's a lot of factors into measuring it, as this thing shows up in practically the entire frequency band, everywhere from X-rays all the way down to radio. So it's a big deal. It's located in the Milky Way galaxy, and it's got an odd periodicity of 4.8 hours. I believe it's 4.86 hours to be exact. And the theory is that there's a neutron star rotating at a very close distance to a Wolf-Rayet star, and it's sending some serious radio outbursts. Let's take it a little aside for another creepy thing, located hundreds of millions of light years away. The second strongest radio source in the entire sky, discovered in 1946, Cygnus A, the radio galaxy, which just happens to coincidentally be located in the same constellation. Again, the second strongest source of radio in the entire sky, second only to your local yellow dwarf, which we refer to on this channel as the Sun. So I'll just scroll through this real quick. If anybody wants to read the article on the YouTube video, fine. I recommend just clicking the link in the description below the video and reading all about the discovery of Cygnus A. Basically, after World War II, a bunch of guys took some radio equipment and they put it together, and they figured out that there was an awfully strong radio source out there. Now again, don't get this confused with Cygnus X-3. Cygnus X-3 is a very, very bright star in our own galaxy. Cygnus A is a radio galaxy hundreds of millions of light years away. Let's go back to Cygnus A for one moment, if you want to hear a little more about it. A bunch of us analyzing it here in the Electric View conversation a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Neil Thompson and Gareth and everybody else that viewed. Sorry folks, I'm very bad with names. Here's a clip from the video.
It's like a zigzag.
Hold on, Gareth. I'm going to open this up and so I can zoom all the way in on it, because it's, pardon my arranging icons. Everybody's seeing what happens behind the scenes now.
No, we're totally offended that that's happening.
Anyway, we left links to this video in the description. Check it out. We do a pretty in-depth analysis of the features of Cygnus A. If you want to look at the transients of it, we also left links to the Neil Gorell Swift Observatory. Just head there, hit Control F, type Sig space A, and you'll get 3C405.0, which is Cygnus A. There are the transients from Cygnus A. Let's go back to Cygnus X-3, because this is much closer. It's in our own galaxy, and it appears to be sending protons into the northern hemisphere constantly. To find this, type Cygnus X-3. Not to be confused with the black hole that Stephen Hawking and Carl Sagan betted on in the late 70s, early 80s. Cygnus X1, Cygnus X3, a high-mass X-ray binary with a very predictable periodicity and a very predictable structure. Notice the highest outburst we've seen from it, at least since 1972, was in 2009, when we also saw the highest cosmic ray flux overall on the planet. Is it a coincidence? Perhaps. But in any case, Cygnus X-3 is a little on the creepy side. It's located in our own galaxy, and again, very hard to measure the distance to an object with so much dust and plasma in between. Let's play a little clip from a NASA video about it, about Cygnus X-3's little friend, as there appears to be a massive radio source which is orbiting this massive star, sucking plasma off it at an incredible rate. The anticipated solar wind from this is about 10 times the solar wind of the Sun, as well as the solar density, the solar wind density. This thing is spewing out protons, and if you want to know where you're located at the end of this beam, or perhaps you're located inside this beam. But in any case, you're located in the beam, which is why you're able to view such a bright source. Let me play a small clip, and again, this link will be in the video below this one, in the description below this video, I should say.
In 2003, astronomers noticed something else when observing Cygnus X-3 with Chandra.
Now, this is super bright, this complete object, but viewing these two as separate objects is a big deal, as the one seems to wink out and wink in, as if it's being obscured by the other. Please continue. Please continue, voice of Chandra, whoever you might be. Please email us. The email address is in the link below the video also, and we'll have you on, especially if you're an astronomy nerd.
They saw another source very close to Cygnus X-3 on the sky. Thanks to Chandra's unparalleled X-ray vision, they were able to resolve this source, even though it was a mere 16 arcseconds away.
In other words, it's equivalent to noting the difference, noting the diameter of a penny at 830 feet. That's the optical ramifications of it. Again, links below the video to this article about Cygnus X-3 as well as this one. And it appears that stars are forming on these jets. Now, is the star around which you rotate formed on these jets? That's a question to ask yourself. But in any case, Cygnus X-3 is probably the most interesting object in the galaxy, perhaps even more interesting than Sagittarius A star itself, in that we're nowhere near looking down the jet of Sagittarius A star. However, this massive X-ray binary does have this blue jet aimed directly at your face, which means probably directly aimed at the sun also. Please leave a comment if you have theories about the way these Z fields interact. Let's just read a small quote. Astronomers realized that this nearby cloud was acting as a mirror, reflecting some of the X-rays generated by X-3 toward Earth. They nicknamed the object the Little Friend due to its close proximity to X-3 on the sky, and because it also demonstrated the same 4.8-hour variability in X-rays seen in the X-ray binary. So this is the way this thing was discovered was in a cosmic ray observatory in 1972. Underneath 1,000 feet of granite in Minnesota, somebody was trying to figure out how this cosmic ray source had a 4.8-hour variability, as nobody was aware that such a thing could exist. However, it was discovered, and from then on, we started to really get what cosmic rays are all about. And let's move on to another story a little closer to home. A Science Alert article revealing the true scale of the Kincaid fire. So check this one out. We've linked below the video to this as well. I think this is probably the best view here. You can see the rust-colored areas. Those are burned regions. You can see where the fire is active in the photo. So perhaps check that one out if you are interested in things like, I don't know, what is it, geology? Please leave a comment. But especially leave a comment about this article. It's not that creepy. It's just about how we talk every day about how cosmology and astrophysics are being rewritten before your very eyes. Well, it turns out the very first stars formed too fast for our cosmological models, which are based on a fusion core model of the sun. Enough said, moving on. Stay tuned for a bonus feature, and thanks Smash team and patrons. Actually make it two. Here's one from Lehigh Valley Live about a NASA launch that you might be able to see if you're on the East Coast. And there's the area where the Antares NG CRS-12 launch will be visible. I don't know why it's showing up as a link, but it ain't linking to anything. Stay tuned for an additional Halloween bonus feature. And we couldn't resist showing the sun in 193 angstroms. Please wish us luck in court today, as we are facing the local government. Yeah, the local government's trying to fine me in a matter where I have no financial or fiduciary responsibility whatsoever. The fact that I do anything to remedy the situation is more than I ought to be doing. So, yeah, wish us luck as if we deserve it or need any, since it's not required. The case is the simplest case ever. I've got multiple lines of defense, and I'm interested in discussing one of them. Only one, which is, I don't own the property. I'm not a fiduciary. I have no financial responsibility. And the owner of the property is a matter of public record. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Again, wish us luck. Happy Halloween. Don't put souls in pumpkins. As it turns out, they continue to have opinions. We've got two pumpkins with a dozen souls each here. I don't know what we're going to do with these things. And yeah, read all about Cygnus X-3 if you want to be creeped out this Halloween, as something at a very great distance from within your galaxy affects your life in a very real way. Time to exit the smashed tower. Stage, trapdoor.